Hi, I'm Abigail Stewart, and this is my production presentation. So, direct seed versus transplant. I did bush beans on both. They both germinated in about 1 week, so I assumed that the growth and harvest timing would be about the same. Um, so the establishment, so they were both grew in the first week after planting and seeding them. The average height of the direct seed was 7.5 inches, while the transplants were a little shorter at 6.25 inches. And then those were ready to move out of the greenhouse at that point. And sorry, I didn't use sticks on those because their stems were so thick and strong they could hold the plant up real easy. And then so from the direct seed, they actually were purple beans. And so I got 78 of those. And then from a transplant, those were still green. And they produced 120 beans. So there was slight difference in the amount with those two different types of green beans. Um, So the overall success was they both had sufficient yield amounts. I wasn't anticipating purple beans, but they kind of provided a good comparison. And both the plants grew at the same rate, but the green beans like fruited faster and just grew faster in every other way after that first week. So they flowered and fruited but quite faster than the purple green beans did. But in the end, I still got more like regular, typical green beans than I did purple. Um, Here's a weird fact. The purple green beans, so they turn back to green when they're cooked, but they turn faster and on the stove than they do in an air fryer, which is weird but interesting. Um, and then the performance of my 5 vegetable crops. So that's my bed layout. So we did peas, beans, onions, kale, and peppers. So with crop establishment, as I said, the beans salvaged and germinated quite quickly, and I planted four, and the four of them survived. And then with my peas, they're eight like established and germinated faster than the beans did. And once they were outside, they were getting so tall. I did have to stick those and wrap them around, but the wind was so hard on them that almost daily I had to go re-wrap them and stuff around because the wind kept like knocking them off of the sticks. And then the kale also germinated quickly, but it took several weeks to grow any further, and I only ended up having two that survived. Um, so I planted those two, and they needed lots of fertilizer to get going. And with my onions, I planted four, but I only got three out of them. And then I only had three while they were in the greenhouse. And then it moved down to two when I transplanted them. And so they weren't doing great in the greenhouse, so I did move them outside, probably later than I should have. And I had to use quite a bit of fertilizer on those two to get them going. And the peppers, they kind of somehow got mixed up with the kill, like the seeds did in my tree. And so, but I planted eight originally, and only four of them germinated. They didn't do well in the greenhouse either. So when I moved them out, they did a bit better because it was such a warm fall, but they still had slow growth. And so I had to have continuous applications of fertilizer on those. So that all the measurements of the veggies for the first 4 weeks. Um, so the peas did take off and grow way faster than any of the other plants. The onions, kale, and peppers all kind of got stuck in the seedling stage of their growth cycle. And the bush beans and peas were quick to fruit and reached the mature stage. So my yield, so I had 120 beans. They all taste really good. My total weight was 1.7 pounds. My peas, I got 113, and they were really yummy to snack on. And they were only 0.81 pounds. My kale, I got 28, but they weren't that crisp, and they were kind of like moist and mushy almost. And their total weight was point zero, sorry, 0.14 pounds. And then I didn't get any peppers or onions. So for my problems, my onions, peppers, and kale all struggled initially inside the greenhouse. When they were moved outside, they did a little better, but then with help of fertilizer, they did a lot better. And then my directly seeded beans had leaf miners in them the first few weeks, and I removed the affected leaves off those plants, and then I didn't have that problem again. And then in the last few weeks, my beans were getting eaten up by bean beetles, and I didn't do anything about them because we were so close to the end, and my beans were kind of winding down and getting ready to stop production. So in the future, or lessons learned, I guess, I definitely let the kale peppers and onions in the greenhouse for too long and would move them out sooner in the future. And I should have controlled the bean beetles better, and I might have gotten a bigger yield that way. And I will also never try to grow peppers this time of year again. Pick them like to grow and just try and see if they would still produce in their early fall, but they did not. And in the future, I would choose transplanting over direct seeding. I got higher yield in the transplants and just felt like it was easier and the plants looked better. Thank you.